Hey, howdy, hey, cartoon nutcases, and anybody that's ever tried to phone ACME and all that. Uh, this is the voice of Wolfman47 Dash. I will flip my camera in a moment, but I just wanted to show you some of the Looney Tune figures that I've received, or rather, not received, rather bought. Yeah, I've got a few. There's still a few I've not got yet, but I've got quite a few already. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Tweety, Sylvester, Lola Bunny, Roadrunner down there, Coyote over here, and yeah. Right, flipping camera. Hello. Right, so let's talk about the Looney Tunes. They have been around for many years, long before any of us, long before some of us were born. Particularly my generation, the millennials. We most of us would have grown up with the Looney Tunes by watching the show on Cartoon Network and all the different cartoons they did. Not to mention all the different compilation films they've done and the films that they're still doing, including some direct-to-home media stuff, and of course Space Jam, the two Space Jam films, and Looney Tunes Back in Action. So, even though it's not all that long ago that Space Jam: A New Legacy came out, a lot of people have been asking. Some people, including myself, have been wondering whether the Looney Tunes are done for. If there's much more Warner Brothers could do with their iconic characters, because it may not be as big of a franchise as the likes of DC Comics, The Wizarding World, Middle Earth, Game of Thrones, and the rest of Warner Brothers stuff these days. But they're still, the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies are still pretty iconic, and to this day are still regarded as like the official mascots and ambassadors for Warner Brothers, alongside the cartoons they acquired from Hanna-Barbera, which were also like doing cartoons around the same time as the Looney Tunes. But I think Looney Tunes was around a bit longer than them. Anyway, so there's the live action films. They experimented with it. I mean, I think the first one, Space Jam, they decided to do based on how Who Framed Roger Rabbit played out, and then they decided to make another film like that, but Space Jam, which is like combining NBA and them, and that was mostly a cartoon world that just had Michael Jordan as like the sort of main focus, like the only live action character in the cartoon world when he gets brought into the Looney Tunes world. And that was fine. Not great, but it was okay. Looney Tunes Back in Action felt very much like a Looney Tunes thing. Only problem with that is that as much as funny as it is and how everything spies and all that is all well and good, the animation was a bit slow in that. A lot of people don't notice this, but when you throw in characters like the Looney Tunes or anything traditionally animated in a 3D environment, sometimes the animation is a bit slower than it is if it's like a full-on cartoon. And I think they seriously took that into consideration with Space Jam: New Legacy, because although Space Jam: New Legacy is marketed as having the Looney Tunes as CGI characters, it actually spends quite a lot of time in the traditional animation department with the characters first before bringing them into CGI form. And honestly, although the CGI can be a bit they actually do look recognizable in CGI. Not saying that I would ever want them to be like that not saying that I would want them to be like that going forward, but just having them sort of transition from traditionally animated to CGI was interesting. So I don't know really. This one I'm not too sure about. Unlike The Walking Dead, where I was firmly believed that it's dead but also not dead. This one I'm actually not sure about, because Looney Tunes people love the Looney Tunes. My dad is obsessed with Daffy Duck. My uncle loves Tasmania. I'm personally a fan of Bugs Bunny, and I know an ex friend of mine was into Tweety Pie. My mum is also into Tweety Pie as well. And they're still funny, still iconic, and everything. And whether Warner Bros. Decide to continue making projects for them, that's up to them. I mean, sometimes it's good to have a break from their bigger franchises, the ones that are bringing in the money, which is mainly DC at the moment, because Wizarding World's gone downhill. Game of Thrones had House of the Dragon, but not much has been heard of since. Don't know what's going on with Middle Earth, and the other stuff. I'm not too sure what's going on with them. So I don't know. Would be nice to see some more Looney Tunes shorts. Like, I know there was a period of time where the family-friendly Warner Brothers films that were getting released had a short film attached at the beginning of the film that was to do with the Looney Tunes. So, I know the Zack Snyder animated film Legend of the Guardians was not to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, just to be clear. Had a short attached to that. Same with Happy Feet 2, and also the Yogi Bear film, which we don't really talk about. And yeah, not really sure if there is much else they can do. I mean, I know there's a film coming out where it's basically trying to portray a sympathetic Wile E. Coyote, which is called Coyote versus Acme. I know there's a lot of I know there is a lot of direct-to-home media films in the works as well, and I know Daffy Duck and Porky Pig play a central role in the Warner Brothers animation logo bumper for the direct-to-home media films that Warner Brothers do. It's particularly noticeable in the DC and Mortal Kombat films that have been released straight to DVD and Blu-ray. My personal favourite of those is when Scorpion from Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge grabs Daffy Duck in the place of Porky Pig and brings him in. And then the second film after that, it's Scorpion being Daffy Duck, but then he gets pulled back by an overpowered Shaggy because, well, at the time, there was a thing about having an overpowered Shaggy as a meme. So I think whatever happens, Warner Brothers will still use the characters in whatever capacity they so choose, whether it be just meet and greets at theme parks, just being around in different logo variations of their logo, and just, yeah. So Looney Tunes is not dead. It's still going. There's still a lot to do. They're still funny as ever. There's not so much comedy like them now than there used to be. And whether you love them or hate them, they are what they are. So, yeah. Whether you want to hunt wabbits and ducks because it's rabbit season or duck season, whether you want to screw over Acme by buying all this stuff just to get rid of this bloody Roadrunner, it's here to stay, and it's probably going to be that way for quite a long time, assuming Warner Brothers know what they want to do with the franchise going forward. It's not, as I said, it's not as big as their other different franchises, but if I were to pick between Looney Tunes and the Mickey Mouse characters from Disney, I'd choose Looney Tunes because although there's been some iconic short cartoons featuring Mickey Mouse and friends, you get a lot more laughs and giggles from the Looney Tunes, and when you get so fixated on just one set of cartoons, and it's just gone dark outside. It's just your personal favorite, personal preference, and whatever. Will say though that much like with that many cartoon, if you ever watched the old short Looney Tune cartoons, don't feel offended by what the stuff is in them that's depicted, because to be clear, lots of cartoons back in the sort of in their early days of cinema did all these different racial depictions and tobacco and all sorts, and editing them today would be an insult to the work that has been put in, and without them, there wouldn't be like these different rules, codes, guidelines, and so forth to help cartoons be much more safer and enjoyable, and not sort of put a bad image for those that want to learn stuff from these cartoons. And they're definitely not just for children, as with all animated stuff. I know I keep bringing this up in nearly every video I do now, but it is true. And I look forward to seeing where the Looney Tunes go next, whether it's more films, more cartoons, just appearing on the logo. They're here to stay, and that's how it's going to be for Warner Brothers while they're still a company. They may be making some questionable decisions now that Discovery is part of them. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to say what you think about Looney Tunes, whether you think it should continue or not, leave a comment below. Love to hear what you think about it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I know there's a lot of people that watch these videos and don't think, well, actually, maybe I should subscribe if I want to see more, because, you know, you're not going to find out when I release new videos unless you subscribe. Just if you want to keep watching me do my vlogs or my gameplay and that. And I'm hoping to do like a special when I reach 69 subscribers and also 75 subscribers. 69 because there's a dirty joke about that, and 75 because, well, 75 is often considered a milestone for different things. And it's just gone dark again. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace!
That's all, folks.